including space capsules and atomic energy. But it has failed to create a situation in which man need not die, take his birth again, become old, or suffer from diseases. Whenever these questions are raised by an intelligent man before a so-called scientist, the scientist very cleverly replies that material science is progressing, and that it will ultimately be possible to render man deathless and ageless. Such answers by material scientists prove their gross ignorance of material nature. In material nature, everything is under the stringent laws of matter and must pass through 6 stages of existence: birth, growth, duration of life, transformation, deterioration, and death at last. Nothing that is in contact with material nature can be beyond the above-mentioned 6 laws of existence. And therefore no one, whether demigod, man, animal, or tree, can survive forever here in the material world. The duration of life may vary in different species. Lord Brahma, the chief living being within this material world, may continue his life for millions and millions of years, while the minute germs may live just for some hours. That does not matter. No one in this material world can survive eternally. Things here are born or created under certain conditions. They stay for some time, and if they have life, then they can grow, create generations, then dwindle gradually, and at last are annihilated. By that law, even the Brahmas, there are millions of Brahmas in different universes, each one bigger than the last, are all liable to death, either today or tomorrow. On the material planets, everyone from Brahma down to the ant is trying to lord it over the material nature. And this is called the material disease. As long as this material disease continues, the living entity has to undergo the process of changing bodies, whether in the form of a demigod. Mantra 14 from the Sri Upanishad. One should know perfectly well about the personality of Godhead and his transcendent name, as well as the temporary material creation with its temporary demigods, men and animals. When one knows these, he surpasses death and the ephemeral cosmic manifestation with it, and in the eternal kingdom of God, he enjoys his eternal life of bliss and knowledge. So, people, they're suffering on account of ignorance. Prabhupada, in one of his early classes, he says, disturbance is due to ignorance. It's like we are afraid of that which is unknown. So, for a self-realized soul, for a self-realized devotee, a pure devotee, there's no fear. A real devotee has no fear. Fear is only when we mistake something as non-Krishna. Non-Krishna. Otherwise, everything is Krishna. Everything is directly or indirectly controlled by Krishna. So if we understand, if we're devotees of Krishna, there's nothing to be afraid of. It is mentioned in the Srimad Bhagavatam that the fear personified, he is afraid of this chanting, this Harinam which is performed. Even fear personified is afraid. So one who's chanting constantly this Hare Krishna Maha Mantra, for him there is no fear. The purpose of this Krishna consciousness movement is that we educate our fellow men about Krishna. So ultimately there is no fear for anyone. No one has to be afraid. Actually, I am not this body. The fear is because of the bodily conception of life. On a bodily platform, I am not different from the animals. Eating, sleeping, sex life, and fearing. Right? So if I am a little bit more intelligent, I understand I'm not this body. This is my hand, this is my leg, this is my hand, this is my ear, this is my eye, this is my finger. So I am not the finger, I am not the hand, I am not the leg. I am different from all these things. I am the observer, I am the manipulator of my different bodily parts. Simple understanding. But unfortunately people are so foolish. They're being misdirected, they're being conditioned to think that they're the body and that there is no spirit soul. The scientists, they're very much recognized. In modern society, the scientists are very much respected. not the people of who are trying to cultivate God consciousness. They're pushed aside. There's a scientist, they're getting the grants, they're getting support. There's NASA, there's so many research institutes and so on and so on. So the scientists, they are very much fond, not all the scientists, but the materialistic scientists, they're very much fond of the theory of evolution. The theory of evolution, that one species creates another species, survival of the fittest, and so on and so on. So these theories, which are very unscientific actually, because we can see that the species, they coexist together. It is not that the humans, they came from monkeys, and the monkeys were annihilated. The monkeys are still here, right? And from the Vedas, from the real history of the world, the Vedas are the real history of the world. They're the most ancient scriptures in the world. Just like now we have newspapers, right? So newspapers that describe the events which are taking place, the terrorists in France, this, that, Donald Trump, whatever. So this is the best source of knowledge. If someone wants to understand this present age, he just takes a newspaper where has the perfect knowledge about the present circumstances. If he, let's say, for after 1,000 years from now on, if he digs up some bones, right? At that point, I'm going to be dead. So if someone digs up my bones, what will he understand from the bones? He puts the bones together somehow or other, puts the objects together somehow or other. He doesn't know how the objects were being manipulated by the spirit soul. And he creates a theory, some theory, how things were going on. This is very low-class intelligence. If I take the newspaper, if I take some videos from that age, I can understand very nicely. So in the same way, there were newspapers, the Vedas. Of course, they're not mundane newspapers. They're perfect information about the history of the universe. Why? Because the ultimate purpose of the Vedic literature is to revive our original consciousness, Krishna consciousness. See, the newspaper or the mundane education or the science, they act quite the opposite. Put us into this same old Bhavaroga. What is Bhavaroga? Material disease. Material disease means, I am the Lord of all I subey. I am the controller. I am the enjoyer. I am the Supreme Personality of Godhead. This is our Bhavaroga. Material disease. I have to give it up. No, I am not the enjoyer. This is foolishness. The more I try to enjoy, the more I become subservient. Prakriti kriyamanani gunai karmani sarvasa ahankara vimudatma kartamiti manati. The more I think I am independent, I am the controller, I am free, the more I become subjugated. And the more I understand, no, I am not free, I am not independent, I am fully conditioned by the laws of material energy, the sooner I can start the process of liberation. Self-realization means liberation. The spirit soul is always free. Always free. It has nothing to do with these animalistic activities, eating, sleeping, sex, fighting. It is fully perfect, Sat Chit Ananda. But these misguided guides, the name of science and education and so on, they are increasing this Bhavaroga. See, the spiritual master, he comes down from the cyclic succession to cure us from this disease. The first qualification of the disciple is therefore to surrender to such a bona fide spiritual master. Just like you have a disease, so you go to a doctor. You want the medicine, you want to cure your state. The first thing to understand is that you are diseased. If you do not want to acknowledge that you have a disease, you have cancer, or you have cold, or you have HIV, there's no question of curing your disease. So we have to understand, yes, I don't want to die, I don't want to suffer birth, I don't want to suffer disease. I don't want to suffer old age. Who wants to be old? No one wants to be old. Everyone wants to remain young and fresh. Why? Why are you trying? You are matter. You are just a bunch of chemicals. Why are you trying to remain young? The same chemicals which create the young body, the same chemicals are in the old body. What makes a difference? There's no difference. Be satisfied with an old body. This Krishna consciousness movement is the real education. And it is also the duty of the preachers in this Krishna consciousness movement is to expose the nascent education of the materialistic science. Nowadays people are starting to realize that anything and everything you can prove through so-called science. Anything and everything. Have you been to the moon planet yourself? Have you walked on the surface of the moon? Have you seen it with your own eyes? You have to put your faith in the scientists. Ultimately, it's all just a faith. Nowadays, they can make anything. Through the 3D software, it can create any sort of reality, whatever you want. So, people starting to realize, oh my God, we might be just manipulated. So all might be just an Illuminati thing. All just being controlled by some higher powers. And we thinking this is reality, but it's actually just being created to us. So that is good. That is good. This faith in the science should be shaken. Should be shaken. So the more people understand, it's very easy to manipulate reality now through the computers and Facebook and this and that. People are giving so much power through these modern technologies. By getting that power, they also understand the power can be misused. You see? So they're less and less impressed by the so-called inventions, and they're trying to look for the essence. What is real knowledge? What is the true purpose of human life? Should I be very much concerned what kind of iPhone I have, what kind of a new technology there is? Or should I inquire about how to solve the problem of death? Prabhupada very nicely says, although they're very proud of their scientific advancement, when they're asked about the real problem, what do we do with death? They shy away from the discussion. You see? So we have the answer. The Vedas, they give a perfect information how to get free from the cycle of death. How to get free from all suffering. Not the patchwork, the hospital. What is the use of this hospital nonsense? It is by your karma that you're suffering. And it's by your karma that you have to die at a particular moment. Hospital you can do, you can cure the disease for the time being, but you cannot solve the problem of death or disease completely. You cannot solve the problem completely. So many hospitals are being opened, more and more and more. But the disease is increasing. The patients are increasing. The more hospitals you open, the more patients you have. You see? So that is not the solution, the real solution. One should be intelligent. One should not be misguided by the temporary solutions of the problems. One should solve the problems once and for all. So this is the knowledge of the Shris Upanishads. One should know perfectly about the personality of Godhead, and knowing Krishna doesn't mean that Krishna is alone. Krishna is always present with his associates, with his energies, with the spiritual world, and this material world is also part and parcel of Krishna. So a devotee is not a fool. He is not a fool or a fanatic. Quite the opposite. A devotee is a perfect scientist. He knows every single aspect of creation. Everything, whatever you ask him, he knows. Just like our Srila Prabhupada. He's a perfect knower of everything. The material and spiritual. So the scientists, they don't even know the material perfectly. Because they don't know what is the purpose of the material world. So that makes the knowledge null and void. But a bona fide spiritual master, he understands not just spiritual aspects of knowledge, also the material. Actually, they're both one because they're all coming from Krishna. For Krishna, there is no difference, spirit, matter. That difference is for me. Because I wanted to forget Krishna. I wanted to become myself, the Supreme Controller. So, out of His causeless mercy, Krishna, He manifests the avidya energy, the ignorance, the material energy, and it covers our consciousness. That is the root cause of duality. Right? There's duality. Why? Because I want to enjoy separately from Krishna. I want to have a separate reality. So these scientists, they encourage us, yes, you're separate, yeah, go on, become more and more ignorant. Build up a knowledge which is controlled by Maya. Driskudina muda prapadyanti naradama. Maya apritagyana. Those whose knowledge has been stolen by Maya, they will never surrender unto me, Krishna says. They will never surrender to me. Why? Because the material energy does not allow. I have made an order. I have ordered this, Maya. Krishna, please, I want to forget you. Yes, go ahead. So now you wish for forgetfulness. It's very difficult to remember, right? Krishna has to fulfill your desire. Yes, I want to forget Krishna. Okay, go ahead. Here's distraction. Go, 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 go. Further, deeper and deeper into avidya, into ignorance. Go down, sink down to the lower species, down, down, down to the hellish worlds. Yes, that is also possible. We can degrade so much. So, unless we develop the desire to know, it is not possible to come out of this material tabernacle. We have to be interested in the real knowledge. Who is Krishna? Who am I? And how to serve Him. That's why the spiritual master comes, to explain to us the process of devotional service. So this is the purpose of this class, so people can understand how to serve Krishna. How can I engage in the service of Krishna? What is the most pleasing to Krishna? That we preach to our fellow man how we can all become again Krishna conscious. In other words, if you are you yourself, you think of yourself as a devotee, there is very good identification. Instead of a nonsense identification, I'm a man, woman, ugly, beautiful, tall, small, Jew, this, that, so many nonsense designations. If I identify with devotees, yes, I'm a devotee, I am a follower of Srila Prabhupada, that is very good identification. You go on like that, think like that, it's very good. But also you should come up to the qualification of a devotee. And that qualification of a devotee is that he is a Paradukaduki. Paradukaduki. It means that he is very happy when everyone else is happy. And he's very sad when he sees the others are suffering. The condition, so unfortunately, is quite the opposite. He's very happy when the others are in distress, and is very distressed when the others are happy. This is Bhavaroga, the material disease. Envious, we're envious of Krishna and the parts and parcels of Krishna. So we should spread this knowledge. We should spread this knowledge. Knowledge, actually, is the link between those who are ignorant and those who are spiritually realized. Those who love Krishna and those who do not know Krishna, they can be united through the process of knowledge. Knowledge is the dictionary. So one should learn this science from a bona fide spiritual master. And not that I preach some nonsense. I interpret Bhagavad Gita in my own way. Bhagavad Gita is to develop yogic powers. Where does Krishna say this? How dare you to interpret in your own way the Bhagavad Gita? Do you think you're better than Krishna? Do you think that Krishna was a fool, that he left the Bhagavad Gita to be interpreted by an insignificant rascal like yourself? That you can think, but we don't think like this. So many scholars, so many even religious people, they accept Bhagavad Gita as a bona fide scripture. They accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Who are you? What have you done? What kind of philosophy you present? You want to interpret the Bhagavad Gita in your own way? You write your own book. Why are you touching the Bhagavad Gita? Because you know very well that the Bhagavad Gita is very popular. Krishna is all attractive. He's attracted by his beauty. He's attracted by his opulence. He's attracted by his knowledge. Bhagavad Gita is a direct knowledge from God. So why are you taking advantage of the Bhagavad Gita? Write your own book. Don't try to take advantage of Krishna's teachings to preach your concocted philosophy. So we have to approach a bona fide spiritual master. We can't approach Krishna directly, understand directly. That is not possible. We can challenge any rascal who says, oh, I don't need the spiritual master. We can challenge him. What is the conclusion of the Bhagavad Gita? You tell us. What is it? And we can defeat him. Because we are guided by the bona fide spiritual master, we can defeat him. Not through some logic, but we can defeat him by the words of the Bhagavad Gita itself. See? Krishna says, Evam parampara praptam imam radrasavira sikalanyamata yoganasta parantama. He has made Arjuna the receiver of the disciplic succession, the first link. Arjuna, why? Because Arjuna was Krishna's devotee and he was his intimate friend. Similarly, anyone wants to interpret the Bhagavad Gita, he must be at least on the level of Arjuna. He must be in an intimate connection with Krishna, direct relationship. There are 5 relationships Krishna has with us. And he must be a devotee. If you're not a devotee of Krishna, how dare you to speak on the Bhagavad Gita? We kick out. If you're not a devotee, we kick out. We don't care about you. And who is a devotee? Can anyone say who is a devotee? What is the definition of devotee?
Complete surrender to Krishna.
But how does it manifest? That is true, but how does it manifest? He surrenders to the bona fide spiritual master in the disciplic succession, what Krishna has established. Simply hearing, but no action. Now how do we hear? If Krishna says you accept a bona fide spiritual master in a disciplic succession, and we don't do it, then what is the purpose of hearing? And manifest through surrender. First of all, we should hear from the spiritual master, not accept blindly. Everyone accept the spiritual, also let me accept blindly. Like a sheep, right? That is actually not possible. You cannot follow the bona fide spiritual master blindly. That means you don't follow. You follow your concoction of what is his instruction. Then you follow very, very staunchly. I should be inquisitive again. How to get out of this material existence. How to solve all my problems at once. How to solve the problem of death. And if I'm serious to solve the problem of death, then I will not put the bodily necessities as the priority in my pursuit of the goal of life. Sometimes people, they become distracted. No illicit sex, no meat eating, no gambling, this is very bad. This is not my thing. This is not my path. You see? Prabhupada says, there is no question of liking or disliking the truth. It is there. If you want to be saved from repeated birth and death, you must take to the devotional service of the Lord. There can be no compromise in a matter of necessity. You see, this is how you can test yourself. If you still want some pleasure on the bodily plane, you're not willing to sacrifice the body, that means you're a mudha. You're an ass because you think you're the body. Yasyatmi buddhi Yes, sir. I believe three. How does it go? It means that one who identifies with the body made of flesh, bones, urine, and so on and so on. One who thinks that the relatives, the mommy, daddy, son, grandson, cousin, and so on and so on, they're my relatives. They're my dear friends. They're my dear relatives. See, I will serve my family, but I will disregard all the others. I will go and kill the animals in a slaughterhouse. And they're not my family, they're for eating. See? Why don't you eat your brother? Why don't you eat your father? That is also coming to happen, actually. People will be so nonsense that even the family connection, that will not be respected. See? So if I understand I'm not this body, why do I pay so much attention to family members? See? Caring about a family. That is false. The family, we kick out family. We don't care about family. See? We want to become the members of Krishna's family. That is eternal family. These family members that you're getting every life. Every life you get it. Even a dog, he also has a father and mother. Is it a great accomplishment? A dog is taking care of his father and mother or his little cubs. Is it a great accomplishment? I have performed the marriage ceremony for my daughter. I've done this, I've done that. Is it a great accomplishment? A dog is doing the same thing, taking care of his family members. This is not spiritual life. This is the life of a mudha, or an ass. An ass. I do not say this. Krishna says this. Krishna says, Vimudha, not just any type of ass, ordinary fool. A special, unique Vimudha, a unique ass. Because he has the knowledge of Krishna consciousness available. And still he's not taking it up. That means he's a unique fool. Fool number one. You see, the one who goes to the holy place simply to take bath. It's like so many people, they come to the temple simply to discuss mundane topics. Right? So Srimad Bhagavatam says, they're not better than the asses or cows. Saiva Gokara. Saiva Gokara. Ass or cow. Animals, in other words. So, we should not be animals. This is not why we get this beautiful human form of life. Not to be an animal, but to realize Krishna and get out of the material existence altogether. You see? So we should not be foolish, thinking, oh, this is not good for my body. Yes, it might be temporarily good for your body, but you're getting another body, another body, another body. The more you enjoy on the bodily platform, the more desires you have to remain in the material existence. The Bhavaroga, what is the engine which keeps the Bhavaroga, the material disease, going on? There's the lust. The lust is not satisfied. You can satisfy the lust for the time being. The lust increases more and more, like a fire. Imagine you pouring oil in a fire, simply increasing. There's a little fire, you try to stop it. Oh, I need some water. So someone gives you oil. So you're putting oil and you're wondering why the fire is so big. This is our material existence. We're trying to satisfy the bodily, my desires. We don't think about Krishna, what Krishna would like. That inquiry never comes. How can I please a spiritual master? How can I please Krishna? That inquiry never comes. But how can I please myself? How can I please my body? How can I please my relatives? How can I please my society? So many nonsense. That is what we are inquiring. See, we're so foolish. So we should approach the spiritual master. We should approach Krishna. We should study the Vedas. But we should have the right inquiry. Not inquiry how I can remain in the material existence. How should I get out? As soon as possible. Why be so much attached to the body? The body you cannot keep. Simply suffering on and on and on. You get out. Get out now. Make a vow. Yes, from now on I'll be serious in my Krishna consciousness. If you don't become serious now, you have to become serious ultimately. The more you delay it, the more you simply suffer. See? So intelligent person, he surrenders at once. At once he surrenders because he's intelligent. Why should I delay the process? Let me surrender at once. And then Krishna, he gives a promise. Sarvadharma parityaja mam ekam sarandraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo. Krishna will give you protection. You don't have to be afraid. Oh, what if I lose this? What if I lose that? Krishna preserves what you have, and He will supply what you lack. That we should develop that faith in the association with Lords. If we have no faith, if we're faithless, if we want to argue with Krishna, Hare Krishna. If we want to defeat Krishna, if we want to interpret Krishna, if we want to interfere with the business of Krishna, there's no question of advancement. So I'll stop here. If there are any questions?
Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna.
Yesterday we were discussing like 4 principles.
No. We have to discuss. You were late. I'm sorry.
Oh, sorry.
We're discussing on the 14th mantra of the Shri Upanishad. Yes.
What is the ultimate purpose of creation for Krishna?
The purpose of creation.
Yeah, the ultimate purpose.
Well, I explained that.
Sorry.
Yeah.
It was not.
Sir, maybe the devotees they would like to ask first, so the guests they will know how to ask, how to inquire. Okay.
Yes.
Is that a good idea?
No, it's okay. It's okay. I explained
Yeah,
in the class.
just in a resume because I don't get it this way.
What is the difficulty?
I mean, what is like,
Specifically, if you can point out what is the difficulty.
I just want to know the purpose, the creation for Krishna is to please himself.
Where does it says?
No, I just want to know what is the first purpose of creation for him.
Well, I explained in the class.
Okay, but I speak French sometimes. I don't
Well, you should
understand.
hear. You should hear.
Okay,
See,
thanks.
this is not kind of like we cannot serve everyone. See, we
Okay.
cannot serve everyone. If you in a class, you should hear attentively.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah, the purpose of creation, I'll explain, is to give us the facility to enjoy separately from Krishna.
Okay.
This is actually Maya. Maya, illusion, is that we think that we can enjoy separately from Krishna.
Okay. Yes, thank you.
You see? So when we understand, oh, I cannot enjoy it without Krishna, that enjoyment is temporary. I am eternal. The material enjoyment is temporary. So it can never satisfy me. It can only satisfy me when I forget my eternal nature. If I identify with the body, if I think I'm temporary, I'm the body, then I'm also confused. I think the temporary pleasures are very pleasing to me. But if I am sincere, I don't want to die. I don't want to die. It's a problem. I am being controlled against my will. Then these pleasures will not be satisfactory. Then I come to the point of inquiry. What is the real pleasure? Krishna consciousness. That is the real pleasure. Now I'm enjoying temporary pleasures. There's not real pleasure. So Krishna has created this world for this purpose. So He gives us the option. Krishna doesn't force that you have to serve me. If you don't want to serve, He creates this material world where you can go, you can enjoy separately. But there are so many other souls who also want to enjoy separately. Now, who's going to be God? So we want to be enjoying separately from Krishna means that I want to take the position of Krishna. See, now if everyone wants to be the supreme, the enjoyer, now how is very difficult to establish. So this is the law of karma. The law of karma is based on this principle. One time you are the enjoyer, you kill the animals, you eat them, and then the roles are exchanged. Then you have to pay. Then the animals, they become humans and they eat you. And this is what is going on, back and forth, back and forth. You give charity, then that person you give charity to, He has to take birth, you have to take birth also to receive the charity back. Waste of time. But when you engage in spiritual activity, and when you give charity to the devotees, that charity brings transcendental knowledge. Or you can say qualification to understand the transcendental knowledge. Like that. So Krishna doesn't create this world for his pleasure. That is a mistaken idea. Krishna is not incomplete. He is complete. But this is also part of his completeness that creates the world of incompleteness for the conditioned souls, so they can enjoy. Incomplete without Krishna. That is the whimsical desire of a conditioned soul. Yes.
Why is it that the bodily pleasures and lust and greed are so pleasing for the conditioned soul? Is it the ego's nature that it's like that it's so delusional, or?
And it's the perfection of Krishna. Krishna is God, so he creates perfect illusion. The material elements, they're earth, water, fire, air, ether. Krishna explains in the Bhagavad Gita.
Yeah.
So they're directly connected to your senses. The earth you perceive by smelling. The fire you perceive by the eyes, there's the form. The water you perceive by the taste. The air you perceive by touch. Just like now I can, perceive the air through the touch. And the ether you perceive by the sound. So we have 5 senses, material senses, and there are 5 basic material elements. So it's very difficult to come to transcendence. See, we're completely surrounded by Maya. Like that. They go like that. Perfect. Perfect Maya.
So
that's why it's so pleasing.
The nature of desire is that it's like a fire, that the more you feed it, the more it amplifies. Like, the greedy people, the millionaires, they want even more money.
Yes.
And the lustful people, they want even more sex. And it's kind of, never ending. So I think, like, when will they get out of that? Or is it when they end up suffering and depression, and then they start to ask spiritual questions? Or
you see, although we're in Maya, we're so much confused and so much deep in the lust and addicted and so on, we never lose our spiritual identity, because our spiritual identity is eternal. So, of course, the conditioned soul has the free will to ultimately enjoy eternally without Krishna, because by nature we are eternal and the material pleasure is temporary. Sooner or later, some or other, the conditioned soul will ask about the real thing. But we can make it faster. We don't have to wait. That is my free will. Spiritual life doesn't depend on anything material. It's not that first I have to suffer, I have to become completely burned out, and then I can come to spiritual life. It's a concocted idea. Sometimes people think, no. This is, I'm not yet right. Let me enjoy. I'm now young. When I'm old, then I'm going to do some meditation. This is a wrong idea. Spiritual doesn't depend on anything material. If you want to be perfect, if you have a very strong desire, you can become perfect right now, like that. The Prabhupada quotes the example of Katvanga Maharaj as an example in the Bhagavatam. He achieved perfection 1 minute before his death, like that. He became very serious. He achieved perfection in 1 second, in 1 minute, whatever. The spirit soul has the potential, but it's very difficult because the mind is so strong to actually act on our true nature. That's why the spiritual master comes here. That's why Krishna comes here. That's why the Vedas are here. That's why the devotees are here. That's why the temples are here. So many facilities.
But are we the ones delaying our own liberation, or is it the Mayas that's very strong?
No, not Maya. You. Maya, what is the purpose of Maya? As I explained to Sylvan, the purpose of Maya to give us the illusion which we want, that there is no Krishna. We want this illusion. We don't want Krishna, because then we can't be the enjoyer, God. If God is there, why people are so averse to God? Because they think I am God, and they enjoy this feeling. I am God. Everything is for me. Selfishness.
That's very true.
So when Krishna is there, all of a sudden, and he is actually the supreme enjoyer of everything and the control of everything, then that my position is diminished. You see? So it's not. Maya is there because Krishna gives you the Maya. And if you change your desire, if you say, no, I don't want to be God anymore, I'm so tired of being God, I want to surrender, then Krishna tells Maya, Daivi esa gunamai, mama maya durateya. He says, the material energy is very strong, but one who surrenders unto me, I will slacken the influence of Maya. See, this is how only a devotee can fully get out of the Maya influence, not anyone else. You have to have a connection with the Supreme Controller. Then the Supreme Controller presses the button, okay, finished. You might try on your own, like the scientists, perfect example. They try to fight the material energy through their tiny little endeavors. But they don't understand that they themselves, that very endeavor to conquer material energy is, foolishness. It's controlled by the material energy itself, with the three gunas and so on and so on. Their own mind is controlled by the material energy. So that is not possible. On your own, you cannot conquer Maya. But when you surrender to Krishna, and you become his devotee, then Krishna becomes your devotee. What to speak of slackening the influence of Maya? Krishna becomes your devotee. Krishna becomes your servant, just like Srila Prabhupada. You can see, Krishna became his devotee. He arranged everything for him because he's fully surrendered. He doesn't have any material desire. Oh, I want this Krishna, like, it's very nice, the philosophy of Bhagavad Gita, but I need some money, I need some followers, like that. No. Zero, shunya. Then Krishna becomes your very good friend. So, any other questions? Yes.
So, by the point of death, one should be serious to get out of the cycle of birth and death. How does someone becomes actually serious? Is it only by suffering, by repeated cycle of birth and death, or is there a shortcut?
There's a shortcut, and that is when the spiritual master comes, or Krishna comes. By his causeless mercy, if we're intelligent, we grab the opportunity. And by the mercy of the spiritual master, we can come to a state of sanity. Otherwise, we have to suffer. No. Yes, please.
I am existing because someone has created me.
No.
Then
No.
How I can become into existence?
No. You never come to existence. Krishna says this in the Bhagavad Gita. Natu evam jatunasam natvanim janarika nachaivana bhavishama sarvayamata. He says that all these kings assembled on the battlefield, you, Arjuna, me, there was never a point when we did not exist. And similarly, in the future, there shall never be a point when we cease to exist. The soul is not created. This is a wrong idea. The soul is qualitatively one with God, with Krishna. Qualitatively, not quantitatively. Just like a drop of water contains the same chemicals as the vast ocean. Right? By the amount of water in the ocean and the amount of water in the small drop is different. So in the same way, we're eternal, we're full of knowledge, we're full of blissfulness, but we're tiny. Tiny. Spirit soul, the minute soul is tiny. Krishna is the supreme soul. He never falls down. He is the absolute, all-pervading. We're tiny, minute, therefore we have the tendency to fall under the influence of Maya that we discussed, how it is going on. But I'm not created. I exist eternally.
If you exist eternally, then why you die?
You don't die. You never die. Your body dies. Your body died many times in this lifetime. Where's the body you had as a small boy? Can you show me? It's gone. Right? All the elements which form your baby body, small boy body, they're gone, exchanged. You have a different body. Now you're an old man. But you are still same personality. The one who was in a small baby body is still here. You're still the same person. You're observing the bodily changes. You're the observer. You're not the body. This is most of what Krishna says in the Bhagavad Gita. Dehinosmin yatadi komanam yovanam jara tatadihantara prapti dhirastatra nuyati. In the past, your body was a small child, teenager, grown-up man. Now we're an old man. Similarly, at the time of death, you will take another body. If you're really intelligent, you're not bewildered by the change of the body. See, if a small boy says, I don't want to grow up, I don't believe in the teenager body. So he can believe or not believe, he must take another body. Similarly, if we believe in next life or not, that is of no consideration. We will have to take another body. The real question is, what type of body I'm going to get next? That is a more intelligent question. You know, it might not be human. It might be animal. And the animal life, we have no opportunity to come to spiritual realization. We're doomed. We have to wait until again we come to the human form through the evolutionary cycle. So we should take advantage. Yeah.
So the body we take is based on our karma from our past life. Is that it?
Definitely, yes.
Okay. Even the nationality, the color, all of
Everything. Everything. Everything we do is karma.
Is it common for a soul to want to try everything, like a man's body, a woman's body, Asian, North American, chocolate?
We've tried all that.
Just for fun, or?
That's why we come here, to try all these nonsense.
Okay.
Yeah. It's all zero because there's no pleasure. It's all illusory. So Krishna gives us the opportunity, go and enjoy. That's why the material creation is full of varieties.
So many flavors,
as many as you like. We create the varieties. Why there's so many varieties of species of life? Because everyone is different. Everyone needs a different type of enjoyment. So Krishna gives, you want to enjoy sex life? Go take a body of a monkey. You want to have nice eyes? Go take a body of an eagle. You know, you can see. You want to eat raw flesh? You know, go take a body of a tiger. Everything, all the facilities are there. Om Purnamidam Purnamidam. Everything is complete in material existence. But, you know, I should not be foolish. Let me try. I should come and hear.
Wouldn't you say that when a soul takes a body of a human and they're, a bit closer to realizing, to self-realization, but then we have in the material world today, like it's kind of like the opposite. Like wherever we go, it's like, food and sex and all that. And so it's like even the humans are behaving like animals. So
yes, I've had lower
where
than
is
the
the
animals.
hope for self-realization?
Well, the hope is here, the Krishna consciousness movement. We say openly like this. This is the only way. If you want to take it up, you take it up. We don't make any secrets. We're confident. If people have objections, they have doubts, we're very much welcome. Come. You yourself, we've asked you so many questions. We're not dogmatic. It's not dogmatic. We're welcome controversy, and we can answer from Krishna philosophy. So yes, actually the animals, they're more advanced sometimes because at least they're regulated. When they want to have sex life, they have sex life in a regulated way. And only a certain period they mate, right? Humans, they become more degraded without any discrimination, without any purpose. They have enjoyment without any purpose.
And animals, they don't get in their own way, but humans do. They kind of like, they have depression and anxiety and all that.
That's right. We have a great opportunity. The human form, we have great intelligence, skills, and so on and so on. If we use them for Krishna, we get liberation. If we use them for Maya, we become lower than the animals. It's like a knife. You can kill with a knife, or surgeon, he can cut out some tumor or something. So the same instrument he uses for negative or for positive. So the human form depends on how you want to use it. It can be a blessing or a curse. Right, any other questions? Grantaraj Shri Upanishad ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Shri Gaura Premanandi Hari Hari Bol.
Шримати Бхактивинода Свами Прабхупада Сарасвати Сарасвати Гуру